You're listening to Sister Stargazers, celestial and terrestrial observations and advice from two real-life sisters.
Welcome, fellow stargazers. Your sisters are in the house. Hi, Jude.
Hey there, Sarah. How's it going?
Hi. Yeah, it's going. Welcome to the middle of March. Oh my goodness. This is episode 79. We're going to try to cover Sunday, March 12th through Saturday, March 18th, which you've already sort of shared with me is a loaded week. So we're kind of going to look at an overarching theme and some of the major conjunctions. But there's a lot going on. How do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, we can break it down more in our weekly radio show, but I do want to give an overview.
Okay.
There's so much, and we touched on some of these planets and asteroids and centaurs last week.
Yeah.
And they're still, those are the same main players. So we have Vesta, Chiron, and Jupiter in a stellium. So they're all occupying the same degree. That's 14 degrees Aries.
Yeah.
We have the Sun and Neptune in a conjunction in Pisces. We have Venus and Eris in a conjunction in Aries at 24 degrees.
Yeah.
We have Mercury conjunct Nessus in Pisces. Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, it's just loaded. The chart is just loaded.
It's just loaded. Plus, we have daylight savings time.
Oh, right. Oh, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So we're already going to be in a fog.
I know. If that isn't disorienting enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
These planets that are moving through Pisces and Aries are now recoupling or kind of reshuffling. Because they're coming into exact stelliums, all three of them occupying the same degree.
Yeah.
This is like really focusing this energy.
Yeah.
So the capacity for diving in and being devoted to your own healing process to make yourself a better, more expanded version of you is up. That's in play. We have the Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces, the ability to reimagine the world on the higher level. On the lower level, it can be the ability to be deluded or confused by the world. Yeah. And then we have Eris in conjunction with Venus, which is taking up the banner or the action or the advocacy of beauty in the world.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So there's so much here. There's also Mars, which is in Gemini and has been direct now for many weeks since the middle of January.
Yep.
But he's coming out of his shadow phase. So when he reaches 25 degrees, 37 minutes of Gemini on March 15th, this will be a good point for you to reflect back to the time when Mars was going into retrograde back in the first week in September of 2022.
Okay.
To look at some of your ideas, maybe your thoughts of the future at that time, maybe the thing that you really wanted to be working on or that you wanted to come into your life, maybe that's shifted.
Yep.
Maybe it's not as important now. Maybe you've worked through some of the kinks or the blockages or the hang-ups maybe that made you think that this was important at that time. It may not be as important to you now. You might have gained a little traction in terms of your own self-understanding or how you justify an argument.
Yeah. Yep.
How you think about things. You might have gained some understanding there.
Yeah.
Mars, though, is not in the ecliptic right
this
now.
is fascinating. Yeah. Yeah.
So we have this plane, that basically is called the ecliptic. It radiates out from the sun. It's this big plane that the Earth rotates in, and just about every planet is lined up along this ecliptic. So when you look out at the stars at night, they ride along this arc of basically where the sun was during the day.
Yeah, yeah.
So what's happening right now is that Mars is out of bounds, which means it's like he's a little crazy. It means that he's operating above 23.5 degrees of the ecliptic. Yeah. So there's this boundary, the ecliptic, and then you can deviate off of that, you can go, a few degrees up, a few degrees down. But when you go 20 3.5 degrees beyond the ecliptic, then the qualities of that planet start to become erratic. They become a little more unreliable, a little more demonstratable. So they become much more louder, maybe. That's another way to put it. So Mars out of bounds means it's like something that just you can't get a grip on it. It just, the rhetoric, the rattle, the spin, it's just beyond being able to grasp.
Okay.
And we have a situation this week. He's involved with several aspects to the moon, to the sun, to Neptune, plus being out of bounds. That puts this element of Mars, of the spin, especially Mars and Gemini, this talking, spinning. It's kind of out there to me anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to set this up. We have the moon in Sagittarius. And we have the sun over in Pisces with Neptune. So there's a square there, a 90-degree angle. And then the moon is directly opposed to Mars in Gemini. And Mars in Gemini is squaring both Neptune and the sun. So we have this right angle T-square. It's called a T-square. It's a right angle square, with the apex being the sun and Neptune together, and the base of the square being the moon and Mars.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the last quarter moon because the moon and the sun are involved.
Yeah.
So we already have this kind of questioning or crisis aspect between the sun and the moon, kind of like, oh, did I do the right thing? Did I say the right thing? Did I think the right thing? Did I take the right action? Is this going to work out? And then on top of that, we have this opposition from the moon to Mars.
Yep.
Mars is like all big and puffed up and spouting out and just being really loud.
Yeah.
And then we have the square from Mars back to Neptune and the sun, which, because of Mars's 7-month trek through Gemini, going back and forth, and with Neptune in Pisces going back and forth, we've had these ongoing squares. I think there were 3 last year between Mars and Neptune, which has been questioning our reality, questioning our beliefs. Could someone be that mean? Could they be that cruel?
Right.
Could that really have been the motive?
Yep.
Did I really understand that right? Or was I completely fooled by that person or that situation?
Yeah.
Was that person honest with me? Was this situation real? Or was this the way it was portrayed to be? Or was it set up?
Yeah.
So we have this setup here where the sun being with Neptune now is really helping to illuminate either the potential or the delusion.
Yes. Yeah.
The imagination or the delusion. That's the sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces.
Yeah.
And then squaring Mars. Mars is trying so hard to say the right thing, make you think the right thing, put all the language out there, but he's out of bounds. He's not in any way, shape, or form coherent.
Yeah. Not reliable information.
Not resonant, right?
Yeah.
Out of bounds. And then he's making an opposition to the moon, which could be representative of the public. So it's a personal and it's a collective situation.
Yes.
So are you in a situation where you've been misled? And is someone trying to talk you back or talk you into something? Can you trust your feelings? With the moon in Sagittarius wants to be so rational and wants to put a very neat, clean little philosophical package together. And with the moon there in Sagittarius, it's trying to feel its way through this philosophical package, right?
Yeah.
It's not a great placement for the moon, but it's trying awfully hard to make sense of this. And it's not something that makes sense between the moon squaring Neptune and the sun and the moon opposing out of bounds Mars. So it's just something to watch out for Watch out.
It'll be in effect this week, but as the moon moves on, it will lessen. Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but it will come into play. Mars square Neptune Sun will be in play all week.
Yeah.
And then the moon coming into that position at the time of the last quarter moon on Monday the 13th, we'll just start the week off with the, ooh, like, what?
Yeah.
So you've got to just take your time.
Yes.
You can't be talked into anything this week. Really just, if somebody is trying to tell you something, let it sit for a few days before you make any decisions, because it's totally within the realm of possibility that what you're being told is not true.
Yeah. The rantings of a delusional
Mars.
Yes. Awesome. So there's this other aspect too with Neptune, which is Mercury conjunct Neptune. You want to tap on that?
Yeah. So the Sun conjuncts Mercury on Friday.
Okay.
But before Mercury gets to the Sun, the conjunction with the Sun, which is significant because it's halfway through its retrograde. So we know that it's going to be coming into a retrograde cycle soon and it will in April. But when the Sun makes a conjunction to Mercury, this is a great time for communicating, writing, asserting yourself. This is coming up on Friday, March 17th. And before we get there, on Thursday, the 16th, Mercury will conjunct Neptune. This aspect of Mercury, Neptune, Sun is kind of coming into play right in the middle of the week. And then it's exact Sun conjunct Mercury on Friday, the 17th. Mm-hmm. At the same time, Mercury's going to be squaring Mars. So as Mercury conjuncts the Sun, it's going to be squaring Mars. So you see, this doesn't go away. It just different players come in to try to make sense of it. Right. But the square is still there.
To Mars.
Yeah. Mars is in Mercury's sign.
Yeah.
So Mercury is governing Mars. So by the end of the week, that Mercury square Mars is going to kind of just clean out Mars's arguments.
Yeah, okay.
But things will be moving quickly.
Yeah.
This is going to be a fast-paced week. Yep. There's also Venus square Pluto, which does not help anything either.
Yes.
Intensity, Venus is in Aries.
Yep.
Soon to move into Taurus, making a conjunction to Juno, making a conjunction to the North Node. But all of this it just is intense.
Yes.
The pace is going to be quick, a lot of going back and forth, a lot of banter.
Yeah.
Just hold on to your hats and just watch for impulsive actions or reactions, irritations. Don't let anything get the best of you, and just let it sit if you need to make any decision. And if you can, let it sit for a few days.
Yes.
Let it sit.
That sounds good. The bottom of the deck was the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is sort of like this figure that's a little bruised and battered, but it's got all these wands lined up.
He's taken a break. He's got maybe he's been wounded. He's got like a band on his head. He's looking a little shifty under the eyes.
A little beat up.
Yeah. But he's leaning on a wand. So there is some support there.
There is some support. But he's definitely surveying kind of what is the situation? Mm-hmm. Is he going to either gather up the wands or cross to the other side of the wands, or maybe trade out a wand for a different one? But that was on the bottom of the deck, which feels a little bit like, here's the foundation of the week. Take stock, take your time, find your resources of support. Don't make any hasty actions. Yeah. That I guess is sort of just a
makes total sense.
Keynote for the week. So there's our Nine of Wands. Listeners, if you've got questions, comments, you want a deeper dive into any of this, you can send us an email at connect@SisterStargazers.com. We love hearing from you. Please visit our website, SisterStargazers.com. You can learn more about us and what we do. The podcast is there. And then Monday nights, 7 p.m. on WMPG.org is our live radio half-hour astrology deep dive. And I think looking at this Venus conjunct Juno energy with the North Node, and I think that'll be a really fun show for this week. So
we can talk asteroids and dwarf planets.
I'll be there. See you there.
I'll be there too. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Jude. Really great.
Have a good week, everybody.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Sister Stargazers. Let us know what worked for you this week. Find us on Facebook and post a comment at Sister Stargazers.